Good morning. How are you?
We are great. The elves are busy, and it's all about food today. We're celebrating Christmas traditions around the world, and you've shared with us some of your Christmases past. What's your favorite dish to eat during the holiday season?
I love the turkey dressing. That's one of my favorites all year round if I could have it.
Did you say dressing?
Turkey dressing.
Turkey dressing. So here's the big question, Ron. With the raisins, without the raisins?
Without.
Yes, I
Either
agree,
good or
Ron.
bad.
I agree. Oh, let's ask Ron, should we cook the dressing in the bird or out of the bird?
Oh, always in the bird.
Oh, he's an
Okay. Oh, he's a traditionalist. He's a purist when it comes to turkey stuffing. Well, Merry Christmas, and I know our topic today with Pacific Ocean property in Brookings and real property, Crescent City, is going to be credit score. Your credit rating dictates the parameters of your home loan. So enlighten us today, Ron.
Well, good morning. Yes. You know, the FICO score is what's used, and the FICO is the Fair Isaac Corporation. That's what FICO stands for. And it's the entity that is used to determine whether or not the borrower's credit is worthy of them loaning them money. And the score ranges from 300 to 850. And the way I like to think of it, it's, because I was a school teacher, you get an F, a D, a C, a B, or an A. And the very poor is 300 to 499. And then poor is 500 to 600. Fair is 601 to 660. That would be a C. And then a B is 661 to 780. And then an A is 781 to 850. Now, you can get a loan, FHA, VA, if you have a fair score, and it used to be 580 up to 580 to 610, and during the pandemic they've raised it a little bit where it's about a 620 to qualify for a home loan.
So what constitutes the credit score? What's used for obtaining that credit score?
So the FICO score is grouped into 5 different categories. The first is your payment history, which is 35%, and that's how regularly on time do you make your payments. The second is the amount that you owe, which is comprised of 30%, and that's the actual amount. So do you have $5,000 worth of debt out there? Do you have $20,000? Then the length of the credit history is 15%. So how long have you had those debts that you've been paying on regularly without any lates? Then the new credit is 10%. So if you've gotten something new, a new car recently, are you making those payments on time? And then finally, they call it a credit mix at 10%. And that credit mix is the variety or different kinds or types of credit that you have.
And you were talking about the major reporting agencies. There are 3?
There are 3 of them. It's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And what happens is that for home loans, they throw out your lowest and they throw out your highest, and it's the middle score that becomes that score. When we talked about 600, 620, 700, it's the middle score that they use. Now, if you're purchasing a car or something like that, they'll go to one of those 3 entities. They pull that one, and that's the one that they use.
So let's say my credit score is below a C average. I want to get a loan, so I want to build up my credit score. What can we do?
So the easiest way is to check your credit report, first of all, to see if there are any errors. So you want to make sure that is your credit. For example, I have a twin, and sometimes on my credit report, because our Social Security numbers were only 1 digit off, some of his things would show up on mine. So you want to make sure that your credit report is only yours. Then for the payments that you have, I always recommend that you set up a recurring payment plan so that on the 1st or the 3rd or the 5th, you know when that's due. Make sure that it's paid on time. Because there are a couple entities out there, if you're 1 day late, they report it as a late and it hurts your credit. And then be careful how many credit cards that you have. It's not the more you have, the better it is. Have some credit cards, use them all the time, but always make your payments on time. And then diversify. Remember we talked about your credit mix. You want a diversity of credits like Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Those are credit cards. That's one type. Then your gasoline cards, Chevron, Shell, that's a different type. Your home loan, that's a different type. Department stores like Fred Meyer's or Kohl's or Sears. So you're getting a variety, and that helps your credit score as well. but always pay your bills on time. And then always pay a little bit more than the limit. I mean, more than what they tell you that your payment that is due. Because what they're telling you is this is covering our interests. And if you only pay the minimum that they tell you is due, it'll take you anywhere from 16 to 20 years to pay that back. Always pay more because the extra is your principal going down.
We're going to have a part 2 to this, Ron, because this is fascinating stuff. But I do have to ask one last question. How long does it take for credit scores to go up after you pay down or pay off this debt?
It usually takes about a month because the credit reporting agencies take that long to have it reported, and then they make their adjustments. So assume that if you make a payment and you're paying down, it's going to be about a month before it shows up on your credit report.
Gotcha. And then as far as credit card amounts, what should we keep our balance at? What's the secret?
The biggest secret is it's $1 less than 50%. So if you have a $2,000 limit and you get to $2,500, that's 50%, and that's good. There's not any dings. But when you go to $2,501, it hurts your credit. So always stay 50% or less than what has been established as your limit.
This is interesting stuff. Pacific Ocean Properties, Brookings, Real Properties, Crescent City. If you want more information, Ron is happy to meet with you. That's Ron Real. What's the best way to contact you, Ron?
541-244-8118 is my cell, or 541-813-2340 is the office.
You got it. Ron, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas in advance.
All right, Merry Christmas to you. I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing you next week.